Hello. Hi guys, John Martin from Additional Income. I was reading an interesting article today, and I kind of wanted to get you guys' feedback on what you thought about it. Probably a lot of you, this is the first time I've gone live on this channel, so I'm assuming maybe my wife will watch. But she hasn't checked in yet, so we'll see. So I'm just going to start kind of talking a little bit about the article that I was reading. If you guys do end up watching, just drop a note in the comment section. I can check that periodically, say hi to you. But also, type in replay, or if you're watching it live, type in hashtag live, hashtag replay if you're watching it after the fact, and it's already off of the Additional Income page. So I read an interesting article that kind of got me thinking about business in general for veterans, and it cited the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and it was saying that less than 7% of veterans that served since 2001 have started their own business. And I was like, okay, 7%, that's not a huge percentage. However, on the other hand, compared to World War II and Korea, it's ridiculously low. Soldiers came back from World War II, military folks came back from World War II, and to the tune of 49.7% of the veterans started their own business. Korea, similarly, a little less, it was 40% of veterans came back from Korea and started their own business. And so I'm looking at these numbers and I'm like, how does that, what's the difference? Why is it changed? Why is there less of an entrepreneurial spirit in today's service member than there was, back in those previous engagements? And there was some interesting things that the person that wrote the article, he reached out to some different people and they had their own ideas of what hey, how you doing, Miguel? Good to see you, brother. Of why they felt like perhaps military members were less inclined to start their own business. And so I basically, that's what this live is about. I want to get feedback from you. There's a poll that you guys can answer. Get some ideas of what you think is holding people back, especially veterans, because generally we're pretty daring. We're pretty daring. We don't, if we get an idea and we want to start something, we're going to do it. And or at least the people that I've worked with and the people that I know. In fact, I was talking with Miguel earlier. Was my old commander at one of the MP units that I was working in, and he's starting his own security company. So we're not scared to take a risk, obviously. But it seems like at least the statistical numbers are showing now these days that it's a little less likely for veterans to become entrepreneurial and start their own business. I don't know why. So my wife showed up. Thank you, Lily. She supports me in everything. I'm such a lucky man. Love you, my dear. So anyway, according to the study that they were citing, 49.7% of World War II veterans came home and they started their own business. That's a lot. And then on the flip side of the coin, this was written in 2016, and it shows 4.5% of the more than 3.6 million people that served in the U.S. military since 2001 had launched their own company. Okay, numbers-wise, that comes out to about 162,000 soldiers, sailors, airmen, coasties, seamen, whatever. They came back, either got out of the military, came back from war, and decided to open their own business. 162. Okay, let's put that in perspective, right? If you own your own business and you start being successful at it, you're going to have to hire somebody, right? So the sheer numbers and the way that it increases by the amount of people that are willing to start their own business increases quite a bit when you get up in the half of the service members starting their own business versus I think in 2016, 4.5%. So 160, and each person hires 2 people. That's, for easy numbers, that's 320,000 jobs created by veteran-owned businesses. I mean, not too shabby, but how much more was it in World War II? I mean, these guys came back, from serving, and so it's an interesting thing to do the actual math. I'm not a math person. If my friend Brandon Cox was on this live, he would be able to create some numbers for me, but he's not so far. So we'll see. But one of the things that they cited as far as reasons perhaps that maybe businesses are not being started by veterans as soon as whether they get out or they want to start a business at home before they get out and transition with it. One of them, they cited a person that his name was Joseph Kopser, an Army veteran, co-founder of transportation app called Ride Scout. And he says he blames a lack of service mentorship for current military members, saying that too many vets now get a job and settle rather than launching their own business. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. That kind of, I mean, just from that one sentence, to me, kind of does the same thing as, blaming the NCOs for privates doing stupid private things. I mean, I truly believe in my heart, a lack of mentorship sometimes is not the greatest excuse for why somebody's not performing or what. But I want your opinion. What is it do you feel like in today's service member makes them less apt to be entrepreneurial? If you're catching this on replay, post it in the comments. Obviously, there's the poll. Make your voice known. Personally, I don't believe that. I believe that at least in my experience in leading soldiers and things like that, there's going to be people that you don't have to stand over all the time and are self-starters. And then there's people that you pretty much have to walk through every single thing that you ask them to do. And then you have to double check it after you're done. So, I don't know. I mean, and then also outside of the uniform, a lot of people are different than, I knew for sure at least 2 business owners that would come to drill, for instance. And you'd have to tell them how to do everything. You'd have to walk them, and I'm thinking, you wouldn't treat your own business like this. Why are you acting this way while you're on drill? So I would say mentorship maybe isn't necessary. Good. How you doing, Brandon? Thanks for coming on, brother. I wouldn't say that lack of mentorship. I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, this guy has his own opinion, and obviously he's got his own transportation app, so he's doing pretty decent, I'm assuming. But I don't think you can always just blame somebody's leadership for a lack of motivation. That's my opinion on that. They also cited that for the World War II GI Bill, that there was an option available for a low-interest loan to start up a business, and that kind of inspired veterans coming back from World War II to be more, hey, Allie, be more apt to start a business than say, not start a business. And clearly, that was some sort of an incentive, because when you talk about half of the service members coming back, well, not quite half, 49.7. I mean, it's close enough. I'm not a math guy, Brandon is, but I'm pretty sure that 49.7 is pretty darn near half of everybody that served during the era of World War II came back and started their own business. And now it's not. So could it be that it was just maybe the loan incentives, the low interest loan incentives that the government offered for veterans coming back to start their business? Could that possibly be the motivation that a lot of people had that pushed them from, because I know a lot of people that have an idea. I mean, at least 3 of the individuals that were in my shop, in the last shop that I was working at in the MP unit, 3 of them had their own business. 2 of them were amazing. One was just getting by, but the other 2 were just, and every time they got deployed or every time they got called up for federal duty, it would kind of send them back, put them one step back. And I think that was ultimately one of the reasons that that they left. But that was speaking to that idea that perhaps the old GI Bill gave more of an incentive to keep a business or start a business after leaving the military. What do you think? I mean, give me some comments on that. I totally went on myself. I went over to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics and looked at the current. This particular story was written in 2016. Currently, I think it hovers around 7% ish. I mean, it's kind of hard. It's kind of in between that 5 and that 10%. So there's not a real exact letter down there. But yeah, Miguel says starting up a business isn't easy. The startup cost for a business is hard. If you only have one income, then getting the funds to start it up is a long process and is not easy. Yeah, I agree with you. And one of the things we talked about earlier is that you're starting your business, you know, while you're in your current career. So it's still in that small business. It's in that infancy. And I personally think that's the best way to go. I mean, after talking with Brandon and a couple of these people that are running home-based businesses, the tax benefits for a home-based business versus just, you know, you're living your life and you're making a regular 9-to-5 job, which is fine. I'm not talking that down or anything, but your tax, you're basically at the you know, mercy of the government to give you back your taxes at the end of the year. Whereas with a home-based business, there's many tax write-offs, electricity, you know, if it's a home-based business, the furniture that you buy for your home office and things like that. Again, I'm going to defer to Brandon. Brandon's the man when you're talking about small business taxes. He's on here. Thank you for coming on. And if you need any information concerning doing your small business taxes or home-based business taxes, he's the man to talk to. But you know, I don't know. It just seems to me that the discrepancy between the percentage of the service members during that time frame in this one was shocking to me. So I wanted to get your input on it. I wanted to see if you had any ideas, what you thought maybe were some real reasons. I definitely believe, I totally believe that the startup costs can be a little bit over. Brandon says zero capital startups and home-based businesses are great profit makers. Yeah, it's true. I mean, you know, and it's also, you know, I've talked to a couple of people. It's really interesting. These additional income interviews that I've been doing, they're basically for me. I'm not making money necessarily from at all, really. I mean, not necessarily, not nothing. I'm doing it because I want to learn about business. I want to learn about what makes businesses tick, what gets them started. And I love the veteran community for that because, you know, we're daring. We try things. And I was shocked by these polls. So, yeah, but I've talked to people, you know, the reasons, you know, maybe the wife of or the husband of a service member, the person's deployed a lot and they've got bills that they want to try and come up and meet in the middle. So they start network marketing, or they become a brand representative and sell items, or they set up affiliate marketing websites if they're techie, just to make extra, you know, passive income. But there's a lot of people I've talked to that have some really amazing ideas and are creative. And they're just kind of sitting on that idea because they're either too scared to start out or try it out, or, you know, release it into the world. They won't, or sometimes they're a perfectionist. I do know that from personal experience. Sometimes, you know, you got to put out a product that's not necessarily all the way complete. Because if you're a perfectionist, and I tend to be a little bit of a perfectionist in some of these things, you kind of hold back and, well, I don't want to put it out there because it's not complete yet. Well, you know, that's still fear. And so I think fear is a big factor for people that are, you know, maybe don't want to start a business. But I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about that and see what you guys had, if you guys had any impressions on it. If you do, put some comments. I mean, I would love to see the poll results over time, and let me know what you think. If you are looking to start a business, that's what additional income is for. The page I've set up is basically to give people ideas of how to start. You know, if you've got an idea and it's been eating at you and you want to create a business doing it, or maybe some side income or something like that, try it. there's nothing holding you back from. I mean, only yourself. The only person holding you back from doing that is you. And so that's what I'm trying to populate into this page is ways to get over those fears, see that other people are doing it, and then also create a network of services and providers of services and providers of product. It doesn't need to just be veteran-owned businesses. I personally connect with because I'm a veteran. But it can be any business, and you can be doing it for any reason. It's necessary. It's completely up to you. But try something. Don't hold back your ideas because of fear that something might not work. You can start most any business, especially if it's in the beginnings of things. You can start with very little income, and so you just start out with an idea, and you just kind of build slowly and build slowly and build slowly. And so I want to encourage you to step out and try some things, and check back with us often. Follow our page, share it to people that you know that maybe are entrepreneurial and would benefit from having resources like this available. Soon we should have a lot more services and things like that available to other people. So you come in and you got a great idea for a website, but you don't know how to create a website. We're going to have people to do that and get you hosting and help you to have a low cost alternative than, say, reaching out to some big company and having them, spending hundreds to set up your website. It can be done. And I encourage you to step out and make that, give it a try. Who knows? It may be the next big $1 million idea. So thank you guys for watching. It's kind of short and sweet. Let me know what you think about the article. What you think, what your personal thoughts are on it. And check back often. All right, guys. Thanks again. Bye-bye.